Hey guys, welcome to this episode of The Rachel Cruze Show. All right, so there's been a lot of talk about a recession lately, and it's something that a lot of people are really worried about. So the question is, should we be afraid?
Gladys?
I mean, there's a lot of reasons why people are freaking out. So high prices on gas and groceries, we have inflation, we have global unrest around the world. There's a lot of things going on, but what are the actual signs of a recession? So we're going to talk about those signs in just a few minutes. But first and foremost, what is a recession? So a recession is what happens when there's a slowdown in the economic activity and there are at least 2 quarters in a row, so 6 months of negative GDP, gross domestic product. We'll go back to econ in high school. Growth rates, okay? So the GDP is down for 2 quarters, which is, again, around 6-8 months. So the GDP represents the market value of goods and services produced during a certain period of time. And again, goods and services is everything from hair products to wallets to dental care, everything. So a negative GDP basically means that there are less things being made and sold. That's not the only factor that leads to recession, though, but that's a pretty high view of what is a recession and what leads to a recession. So here are some warning signs, again, that a recession is on the rise. That there is an inverted yield curve. So what the heck is that?
Why don't you explain this to me like I'm 5?
That it has to do with the bond market. So it's kind of complicated, so we're not going to go into all the details, except that according to the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco, an inverted yield curve has predicted every recession since 1955. Fascinating. So that's one thing. Another thing is that the Feds hike up the interest rates. So they do this to curb inflation, but sometimes it goes a little too far and it creates an entire economic downturn. Also, another kind of red flag is sudden changes in external economic conditions. So, like the rise of oil prices is just an example. So, where are we as a country? Let's review. So, number 1, is there an inverted yield curve? Has that happened? Yes. We actually saw another inverted yield curve in March of 2022. Have the Feds hiked up the interest rates? Yes. And as I'm recording this video, the central bank just raised interest rates by 0.5 percentage point after already raising them 1/4 point in March. So they are raising interest rates. How about sudden changes in external economic conditions? I think we can all say yes. We've all felt that. The skyrocketing prices of gas and other things. I mean, we're seeing that. Plus, the GDP was negative last quarter. So we were waiting for the quarter close to see, and it was negative. Now we're in the middle of the second quarter, so things can turn around for sure. But technically, at the end of the second quarter, if it is still negative, we would technically then, yes, be in a recession. So I know that's a lot of information, and you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, should I be freaking out? What do I do? What do I do? Okay, I'm gonna show you how you can recession-proof your finances to deal with the matter. But first, let's just clarify a few things, okay? Because I don't want you just going underground and hiding in a bunker and collecting canned goods, even though the conspiracy theorist in me would probably be doing that. But listen, we're okay. I don't want you to stress out because here's the deal. We have had recessions before, okay? And we've had bad things happen in our economy. But listen, we are here. Okay, we are okay, and I just want you to educate yourself because I don't want you making bad decisions on fear, okay? Again, we can look back and see, yes, we have had recessions before and we have bounced back. Were those painful times for people depending on what market you're in, where your job is? Yes, absolutely. So I'm not saying that it's like everything is gonna be 100% fine, 24/7, all of it. Yes, will there possibly be a little bit of pain and you're gonna feel it? Yes, but you can actually do something about it now. You can start taking control of your money. If the pandemic wasn't a wake-up call, if all the stuff going on the last few months around the world that has caused inflation, all of that hasn't given you a wake-up call, if this idea that maybe a recession is looming hasn't given you a wake-up call, I want you to have it now, okay? Because I want you to know, hey, you can actually do things in your own finances, in your own money that you can control. And I just want to give you, kind of an encouraging piece that we've been through a recession before. Again, not saying that it was completely painless, but we made it out, okay? And recessions are actually part of a natural economic business cycle, okay? So this is what happens. And the business cycle is just a way to kind of explain how the economy grows and shrinks over time. So over the past 75 years, the US has had more periods of growth compared to the number of recessions. And the average length of a recession since World War II is about 10 months. So take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. But I also want you to be proactive in the places that you can be proactive. So here are 3 quick ways for you to recession-proof your money today. Number 1, get your financial house in order. You need to do a State of the Union of your money if you've not. If you don't know, how much debt you have, if you don't know where your money's going, if you don't know what's in your investments or what they're invested in, if you don't know if you have life insurance or a will, all of these big things, you need to have a State of the Union, say, where are we at financially? Because that's going to allow you to jump into a plan like the baby steps to build an emergency fund and get out of debt and really start getting that solid financial foundation under you. So do that State of the Union, get your financial house in order. Then I want you to save up an emergency fund. I want you to go and get $1,000 quickly. If you already have $1,000 saved, I want you to start paying off debt. If you don't have any debt pay off, then make sure you have a fully funded emergency fund. Those 3 steps right there are going to give you peace and a level of control that's going to be huge, regardless of whether we're in a pandemic or not, or a recession or not, or inflation's high or not. No matter what, that is going to help you breathe easier. It is the best thing possible. And then lastly, do a budget. If you've not done a budget yet, sit down and talk about your monthly expenses because that's going to give you a level of control over your money as well. So for more tips on what to do with your money during times of inflation and instability, check out this video. Share this with a friend, you guys, who might be freaking out and worried about a recession and they don't know what to do. Give them a little bit of hope and just the smile that it's okay. We're all going to be okay. So remember to take control of your money and create a life you love.